Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is Module 4 of Small Business Management and Entrepreneurship. And in this module, we're going to focus on 3 elements that take your business idea and turn them into something meaningful and successful. We're going to look at defining your mission, vision, and goals. We're going to look at building a strong brand, and we're going to look at finding the money to fund your business, which I know is less maybe fun. It's not the creative part, but it's very practical and very necessary because you cannot start a business without at least some money. Okay, and these are the pieces that are going to kind of give your business direction, identity, and the ability to grow. Now, as you look at this module, you may see that I skipped chapter 11. It says chapter 9. Chapter 10, chapter 12, and then you'll see that module 5 includes chapter 11. That is just because this is the first semester that this course has been condensed from 16 weeks to 8 weeks, and I was just juggling things a little bit to try to keep the workload a little bit balanced, okay? So we're going to start with the foundation of your business, and that is your purpose. This is related to your mission, vision, and goals. So the first thing we want to look at is, what is a mission statement? If you've ever been part of an organization, this is pretty common that organizations, businesses, churches, clubs, a lot of people will sort of formulate a mission statement to talk about why they exist. And that's what your mission statement is related to your business. Why does this business exist? It's going to explain your purpose, your values, and what you do for your customers. Now, a strong mission statement is going to help guide your decisions, align your team, and attract customers who share your values. Good mission statements share some qualities. They are short and clear, okay? Your mission statement, you want to be something that most of your employees, people that come in contact with you, people that you deal with can sort of easily remember. They are meaningful and inspiring, and they are focused on your purpose. Vision is a little bit different. Vision is a statement about the future. It's not about necessarily just why do you exist now. It answers the question, where do we want to go? Where do we want to go with this? It's more long-term and inspirational. So that's just the basic difference in those two, because people get them confused a lot. Your vision statement and your mission statement. Your mission is, what do you do now? Vision is, where are you headed? Okay? Both are important for guiding your business strategy. Now, we also want to look at setting goals. And this is one of these moments where if you plan on pursuing any further business education, I want you to focus in on this part and write this down as things to remember, because it's important that you make SMART goals. And SMART goals, that theory is something you're going to see in a ton of business classes. It pops up all the time, sort of like the SWOT analysis, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. SMART is another acronym, and it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And the theory is that any goal you make for business needs to cover those 5 bases to be considered a legitimate goal, okay? And just to break it down very basically, instead of saying, I want to increase sales. Okay, everyone does. You need to say, I intend to increase sales by 20% this year. So see, increasing 20% is specific, it's measurable, you know whether or not it's achievable, but you need to make sure that it is. It is relevant because increasing sales is always relevant, and it's time bound because it says this year. So you don't necessarily have to have a specific element for your goal that just meets every one of those targets. A lot of times you'll have things in your goal that overlap, but you just need to make sure that all of them are met in order to have good business goals. Okay, and it's important to have them because goals give your business direction, accountability, and a way to measure success. Okay, now we're going to start talking about brand. Brand is so important in marketing. I teach a social media marketing course. Some of you may have taken it, and it talks a lot about brand. And your brand is not just your logo. It's how people feel about your business. Brand is everything, especially in the very online social media marketing world. So what makes a brand? What goes into a brand? A brand is a lot of things. It's your logo and colors. It's your message and voice. Are you serious? Are you fun and funny? Is it light? That kind of thing. Your reputation is part of your brand. Customer experiences and perceptions become part of your brand. And there are 2 key ideas behind branding. Brand identity is what you create, and brand image is what customers think. So you need to be careful that when you're building your brand identity, that it transfers over to brand image, that how you present yourself is actually what customers experience, okay? And why branding matters is just so important, because branding, a strong brand creates value, creates brand equity, which leads to customer loyalty, trust, and credibility. It leads to more money. You can charge higher prices if people trust your brand. It can give you a competitive advantage, okay? And in order to grow your brand, you need to build brand awareness, because people need to recognize and remember it. And some key strategies to building brand awareness is to make sure you create a memorable logo and message. Be sure that people can recognize it. Work on building a strong online presence. That is very important in today's market, because people do a lot of shopping and searching for services online, okay? Use social media and content. Again, Panola has a course for that. Those are some of the, I buy things all the time that I didn't even know I was looking for till it came up on my Facebook feed, right? It's very important that you use those marketing avenues. Encourage reviews and referrals. That's sort of customer generated content that you can sometimes get on those social media platforms, where I go on and brag about the shirt I just bought at the little boutique in town without them asking me to. It's just something I do. If you build a strong customer base, they will market for you for free, because they just love your product and they want to share it with their friends and family. Make sure you stay consistent across platforms. The most important thing about branding and marketing is consistency, consistency, consistency. Get creative at the beginning, but then don't get creative again unless there's really a reason you need to make some changes, right? Because if I see you on Instagram, if I see you on Facebook, if I see you on TikTok, if I see you on Snapchat, the goal of marketing is that I will recognize you instantly across all of those. Not that you have a different brand in all these areas. If I pick up a flyer that you put out somewhere in the community, I will recognize it as well. Branding needs to carry across all your avenues of advertising, so that your customers always recognize when it is you putting out information, okay? And just remember, branding, marketing, that is ongoing. You're never done. You need to keep yourself out there, keep yourself going, keep yourself in the public eye. Every now and then you need to do a brand audit to make sure your message is still working, okay? And now in the last part of this module, we're going to talk about the big question when it comes to starting a business. Where does the money come from, okay? And I want to kind of reassure you, if you do have aspirations of starting a business, that you don't have to gather up the millions of dollars you may have in your mind that you have to have, and it's not as impossible as you may think it is, that you can start a decent business with a small, achievable amount of money. But you do have to think about financing, okay? And there are a couple of ways that new business owners finance. One is personal savings, which is called bootstrapping, which is an old, I'd call it a boomer term. They always told us, because I'm the child of boomers, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Means get in there and do it yourself. Handle it on your own. And so that's why personal savings is called bootstrapping, because it's using your own money. And if you have your own money, that's can be good. It's convenient. It's right there. You have full control. You don't have to answer anybody, but you also have to understand that it's high personal risk. Because if you invest your entire nest egg in a business that fails, then it's gone, right? And there's no coming back and replacing it. Another thing people sometimes do with small businesses is ask family and friends to invest. And that can be good depending on relationships, because it's easier, right? That's easier access than going to a bank and trying to get a loan. But you have to remember, if you fail to pay the loan back, you're not going to go to Thanksgiving dinner and be awkward with the banker, right? But if you borrowed a bunch of money from your brother-in-law and you did not pay him back, that could be awkward. So you just have to be sure that you know how the relationships will work once you've entered into that kind of business relationship together. Bank loans are popular. They're structured and reliable. They're harder to qualify for, especially for new businesses, because banks are also a business, right? And they have to weigh out their risks, and they really need to believe that you're going to be able to pay back this money, that they're going to get the return on their investment if they're going to invest. And there are also small business loans available through the government. They're government-backed loans. They are easier to access than traditional bank loans. So if you really feel like you might want to start a small business, I encourage you to spend some time looking into that. Okay, and you can also consider some less common areas for funding. Venture capital, angel investors are people who sort of invest in businesses for a living. Crowdfunding, this is kind of like the GoFundMe stuff, where you just sort of put it out there to a lot of people. Hey, I'm trying to start this. You want to contribute a little bit, and you can do it that way. There are grants. Grants are awesome if you can get them because that's free money. It's granted to you. It's not loaned to you. It's like if you have a student grant to come to college, that means the government is paying for it, versus a loan means they're loaning you the money and you have to pay that back. It's the same. They're hard to get. They're competitive, but if you can get one, they're great. Those are just some different ways. Each has pros and cons. Just as always, make sure you choose ways that's going to fit your business. Do be careful. Some people try to finance new business startups with credit cards, and you can do it, but it's risky because credit cards have very high interest rates, and it can become a huge financial burden very quickly when they start adding those fees or you've maxed out, right? So think long term when choosing funding always. So to kind of wrap up this fourth module, your mission and vision give your business purpose and direction. Your brand shapes how customers see and trust you, and your financing determines how you start and grow. Okay. You have a couple of discussion questions in this module, some quizzes. You're going to work a little bit more on your business plan that we started. We're going to take it from sort of the planning idea and start putting down some actionable type items that you can really move forward with. Okay, everybody, as always, if you have any questions, need any help, do not hesitate to reach out to me. Have a great week, and I will see you in Module 5.